Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Hedera and HBAR. And for all those HBARbarians out there watching the content, maybe you guys are a long-term supporter of the channel, definitely smash that like button to show your support for the Hedera community, and also comment down below what you think one HBAR should be worth right now. And for those that are new to the channel, maybe you guys aren't subscribed yet, by the end of this video, if you guys do find the content interesting, maybe you'll learn something new, whatever the case may be, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button and turning notifications on to never miss a future update. But with that being said, let's just dive in and let's start off with this tweet here from Danny Ide over on Twitter. We do see we have Boeing, Google, ServiceNow, SB Group, many other ones, UCL, and it's such an honor to see how these great companies are coming together to really build this trust infrastructure. Now, one thing that I would love to mention is that when we talk about the trust layer of Web3, whoever that is, HBAR, they are going to be very, very successful because they are going to be the actual glue that keeps everything together. And not only that, but also as we look at the infrastructure of Web 3.0, trust is going to be vital. Trust right now around the Web 2.0 scene is very questionable. There's a lot of cyber attacks that happen daily. There's a lot of things that get hacked. There's big corporations like Citi and Capital One and, financial leaders that get hacked all the time. So when we talk about trust and we talk about privacy and things like that, security is definitely a big one. And Hedera is the most secure DLT out there with ABFT. And with that, a lot of enterprises are finding incredible use case potential around this technology, not only from the security aspect, but also from all the other efficiencies that Hedera does have to offer the enterprise grade scene. Now, also, what do you see down here? That's what makes me incredibly proud to be part of the Hedera ecosystem, because especially now in Davos, so many people keep telling me, have you heard about Hedera? And suddenly in the last month, I hear about Hedera everywhere, and it's true. Focus on one thing at a time, learn it, become almost an expert if you want to, and then move to the next one. I mean, I could tell you my comfort zone is finance. I'm one of those geeky persons. I love doing models, so doing token economics relaxes me. And here we have Hedera CFO, Bitsabi Batatas. I hope that I'm saying that name right. I'm probably not. Selected as top honoree at NASDAQ's Latina Disruptors event. And here is back here, Hedera blogs about, again, I'm not going to try to pronounce the name yet again. I'll probably butcher it. And then relaxes about tokenomics. Inflection point right here. Interesting. And then down here, we do see 2 days later at the Politico Davos party, Zenobia is busy discussing crypto regulation with CPO at Coinbase, which is the ex-Department National Security Advisor, International Economic Affairs at the White House National Security Council. Very, very interesting. I would argue that we do have a lot, and I say a lot, of major players that are getting close with Hedera. It's not just these major enterprises. Trust me, there's a lot of them. When we actually took a look, it was probably, I think it was like 2 years ago now. That was when we first took a look at some of the leading organizations that were working with Hedera. Today, very, very different story, right? Initially on, we were trying to put together like a few things on how they were going to leverage Hedera technology. Now today, we actually have 100% live enterprise grade use cases, and there's only going to be a lot more going forward from here on out. But also, we take a look at some of these names that were recently added, and it's like, okay, well, now we have full confirmation that Hedera definitely is going to be a major leader. There was no doubt in my mind beforehand, but now we have a lot more names tied to this. A lot of them initially started going all the way back to 2021. I remember ServiceNow, when ServiceNow got fully announced, I was like, okay, yeah, this is where things are going to change drastically for Hedera, and we started to see that. And then recently, right, Aberdeen, or Aberdeen, however you guys want to pronounce it, back in October, this was a big one as well. They were a massive giant. They are a massive giant. And, now we just really kind of question, like, okay, well, what's next? What's happening next? Because we don't really care about who the next GC is. I know for most people they do, but for me personally, I don't really care. I care about what's going to be the next live enterprise grade use case, because so far we've been absolutely killing it. Listen, you guys could go and look at everything. Go to the network, go to the dashboard, go to the explorers. Like, you could see everything happening on Hedera right now. And I personally love looking at the dashboard almost on a daily basis because there's a lot happening around Hedera, and you guys are more than welcome to go check it out. But we've been talking about the ecosystem for so long around like the actual transfers that are happening every single day, the overall TPS demand, like everything has been going crazy, and it's crazy because like it's just the beginning. It's really just the beginning. Like we go over here and we do see from Christian Hasker, the Hedera network is on track to process 1 billion transactions every 20 days at current pace. But at some point in the future, I believe it will be processing that volume every 20 minutes. Hello, mass adoption. And yes, this is going to most likely happen at some point in time. It's going to happen, but it's going to take some time. Now, of course, we do have a lot of people that, continue to FUD. For an example, all those transactions and less than 30 validators. What a shame. Web 2.0, I'll stick with Visa. At least they have customer service. And we do see true 27 consensus nodes. Hedera has a very high trust model because the brands that are running the nodes and processing transactions each in its own data center. Projects with tens of thousands of nodes waste compute and also have a lower trust model. Trade-offs. Everyone picks theirs. The market already decided which trade-off matters the most. Look at number one and also how fast Bitcoin is at settlement or at the settlement layer. And then we do see by fast, do you mean incredibly slow? It takes between 1 to 1.5 hours to settle a Bitcoin transaction, 3 to 5 seconds to settle an HBAR transaction with finality probability 1. And we do see, so why is it worth the most? Why was Solana worth the most? Why was Tulips worth the most? Why is Dogecoin worth so much? Seriously, are you a noob? And again, like a lot of these people, now I don't know who this individual is. I'm not going to come for them or anything like that. But the thing that's crazy to me around Hedera is you have a lot of these individuals that think that, okay, well, there's 30 valid or less than 30 validators, so it's a shame or whatever, right? You can, like I said, go over to the network any day of the week. Go to these explorers. Go to the dashboard. Go to all of this stuff. Every single thing that we see around the ecosystem, in terms of like these transactional flows, all of that, things are happening rapidly, and these are real transactions from enterprise-grade use cases. These are use cases that would not be possible on Bitcoin. These are use cases that won't be possible on Ethereum. This is here now. This is happening now. We go over here to HBAR Foundation, for an example. KPMG US. This is a massive company. We've talked about them many times in the past. In Web3, projects that add cooperatives to their ownership structures could boost participation and reduce regulatory risk. So when we go and check this out, cooperatives, the revolutionary solution for compliant ownership in Web3. Now you guys could go and download this white paper all you want, and we do see like HBAR Foundation built on Hedera. Credit unions, rural utilities, insurance companies, and agriculture producers often organize as cooperatives. Web3 companies may want to consider adding cooperatives to their ownership structures, which could boost participation and reduce regulatory risk, while giving users more control of digital networks they use and a share of the value they create. Interesting. So as we focus on this, right, this is something very interesting because as you utilize this, right, in Web3 projects, they're clear. They align incentives, amplify growth, and provide a compliant solution for DLT ownership or distributed ownership. If you are interested in using this model for your Web3 project, Upside.Coop will take care of the heavy lifting so you can focus on your people. Don't let your most valuable asset ownership go underutilized. So this is interesting, and this is something that I find very special. Now, we know there was never a full-on confirmed KPMG use case on Hedera until now. We've talked about it. We've addressed a few things like, is KPMG working with Hedera? But it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all because KPMG themselves is an audit, tax, and advisory services firm, right? Go look at DLA Piper. DLA Piper, they are utilizing Hedera as well, and they are one of the largest law firms. They have Toko, their solution for tokenization, built out on Hedera. It's going to blossom, continue to blossom every single year. I mean, every single year we're going to see massive amounts of names added to Hedera. It's already happening. It's already happening. We see it every single time that we see an announcement from the HBAR Foundation or from Hedera. There's another new major project being built out. There's something happening. Like, we are seeing so much growth. We're seeing so much amplification of the, again, marketing side of things picking up, which is always huge. And it's only going to continue from here on out. And also, when we look at Hedera, even in NFTs, in the NFT scene, we're seeing a lot more growth as well. 117% up, about $56,000, almost getting to Binance level. Binance level is sitting at 63K. We're coming. We're going to be moving very fast up this chart. We're coming for that #1 spot. Eventually, we'll get there. But there's so much more happening on Hedera. And again, like, why are enterprises utilizing Hedera? Why? Well, it just makes sense. Go look at the transactions per second. Go look at the average fees. Go look at the time to confirmation, energy use. I mean, energy use by itself is a huge one. We go over here to Barbarian, which is quoting the UCL. Hedera's global network can function on less energy than, used by a regular household. They're utilizing less energy than your house right now. This is huge. It is by far the most energy efficient DLT, and it will most likely become the go-to enterprise-grade DLT as well. And we go over here to Acorco, which is utilizing Hedera for healthcare use cases and a lot more. We do see curious about the difference between blockchain and Hedera Hashgraph, and we do see down here at the core both are DLTs. However, they approach DLT in different ways. Hashgraph uses a directed acyclic graph DAG to store data, while blockchain stores data in linear blocks. And here you guys have the consensus. Here you have the greenest blockchain. It is essentially almost carbon negative, by the way. I think it's carbon neutral at this point. I don't know how old this diagram is, but who knows. Nonetheless, when we compare it to Binance Coin, Solana, and all of them, you could see the overall energy usage and comparison here, and you can also see it's 1,000+ times less energy than Visa per transaction. This is huge. This is game changing. And we do see security. Again, security, it utilizes asynchronous Byzantine fault tolerance, which is the highest level of security. The governance layers. I mean, everything happening around Hedera is perfectly suitable for enterprise grade use cases. I always say, right now, as we do talk about technology layers in crypto, like, yeah, crypto is growing astronomically. Crypto is becoming the go-to around a lot of tech giants out there, and it's for good measure. But what technology is going to be chosen? Is it going to be your typical blockchain technology, or is it going to be Hashgraph? What's going to be the third generation crypto technology? Because we had Bitcoin, we had Ethereum, but what's next? It's questionable, right? But we could sit back and we could watch the fireworks start, because it really started already. Hedera is changing the game. Go over to Metrica, right? We've looked at Metrica time and time again in the last couple weeks. Because as we focus on the daily, as we focus on the hourly, as we focus on things happening around Hedera, it is absolutely crazy to see the amount of transactions flowing over Hedera. You go to the monthly, the max TPS, 8,000 transactions per second. The total transactions, 650 million. And this is just the beginning. Because just like Christian Hasker said over here, right? We will do about 1 billion transactions every 20 days. And at some point in time, we will be processing that volume every 20 minutes. That means 3 billion transactions an hour. That is equivalent to 72 billion transactions per day. When you add that up for the entire year, that is 26.3 trillion transactions per year. That is an absolute game changer in terms of volume. Now, I ask you, do you believe that? In my opinion, it's very easy to believe when we go and take a look at the GC that is working with Hedera. And there's so many other things happening around Hedera. It's not just the GC, it's not just the enterprise grade customers, it's also the retail sector. Look at what's happening around their Web3 games. Look at what's happening around NFTs. It is just beginning. The dominoes are falling into place, and it's very exciting. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on because of more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. I hope that you all have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. That's been Nick. Peace out, guys.